There's my work of art.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Tell me a little bit about your rental business first, where you're at, how long it's been.
Okay. Yeah, so we have been in operation since 2021. We started in the Smokies as we actually started as a cleaning company,
Hmm.
and we had so many owners who needed management that we started um, learning about management. And so the Smokies was our home base. I ended up meeting an investor who had interest in multiple locations. And so that has taken me on quite a whirlwind because I have allowed um, operations in multiple states, and it's been really fun. So although we started in the Smokies, we then moved to Maine and Florida. We are now in Indianapolis, North
Wow.
Carolina, so multiple areas.
How many total properties are you managing right now?
We have 50 on the books and a few more coming. So as you can see, this white space right here,
Uh-huh.
that's a new one. And so we've got three that we're working on right now, onboarding.
Okay, cool. And what does your team look like? Who's helping you with this?
Yeah, so it is myself. I do mostly owner relations, and I have Dylan, who is my partner in crime. He does all of our onboarding, just optimizing our listing, writing the listing, all that fun stuff. When you first start pricing, he stays in that pricing lane. Um, and then I have a VA and just one, and then I have an operations manager who does uh, half operations management and half VA stuff. So
Okay.
that's who I have. I also have, I guess, partnering with on the cleaning side, we have a bookkeeper and an accountant. So that helps.
Okay. Very cool. And do you still run the cleaning company as well for some of these or a lot of these?
Yeah, I'm pretty hands off,
Okay.
I do still have the cleaning company. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And how long ago did you first start using Notion or this template?
When did we start, Michael? That is the question. Maybe, has it been 6 months, maybe?
Yeah, was it around November? Was it part
Yeah,
of
I think it
the
was
November
probably
deal?
6 months or so.
Okay, cool.
But we dove in immediately. We were trying to decide between Slack, like we had several different, Breezeway, like several different, um, we were putting things in many different softwares, trying to figure
Yeah.
out what is best.
And you
And
had 40 plus properties at this time.
we did.
How were you managing all of the details of these properties, all of your onboarding tasks? Like, what were you doing to
Yeah,
manage all that before
it was
this
in here. It was
in
just
your
all in
head?
my head. Terrible, 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 but it was just all in my head. And so when I first saw the demo for this, I was like, "Yes, this is exactly what I needed." And it's been awesome. It really has. Like, we still have a long way to go. Like, we have not even touched many areas of this, but our SOPs, like, we have just begun. But the listing master pages is what I knew would help us the most and would help me be able to scale and have true VAs and a true operations manager so that I could step out a little bit. And it has really, really helped us.
Cool. Well, I want to dive deep on a few of those areas.
Okay.
I see that you have your Hospitality HQ Notion template pulled up here. Do you mind clicking like Control Plus and zooming in a little bit on this just so that we can see it a little better? Or Command Plus? That'll work.
Okay. Like over here
No,
or
this is perfect. Yeah, over there so
okay.
we can see all of it. So you have all of your properties in here. So we can start with this, which is these listing master pages, which is single source of truth for all of your properties.
Yes.
I'm assuming this is the first thing that you got in and you're like, okay, team, we just need to get everything out of my head and into Notion.
Yes.
How did that process go? Obviously, it looks like you've done a pretty good job. What percent complete would you say all of these are? And it's never gonna be 100% because
Right.
there's always things to
I'm gonna
optimize.
say like 60, probably 60%. We
Okay,
we used HostBuddy, and that helped because we pulled a lot over from HostBuddy.
okay.
So a lot of the questions that were in each of the listing master pages that, like the Q&A portion for guests, we already had the answers to those. We just didn't have them in Notion. So our VA has been pulling that over.
Mm,
And I should say that I actually hired someone just in the interim to do all of this. So that really, really helps. Just a, hourly rate person to go and move things over from, we use Hostaway. So he moved everything that we had in Hostaway into Notion. That really, really helped.
a question I hear from people sometimes is, "Hey, I already have this information in my PMS, in OwnerRes, in Hostaway, in Hospitable." Have you found value in having it in Notion rather than just being in Hostaway? And can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yes. Well, so before I had Hostaway, I had a different PMS, and I felt like I was prisoner to it just because I had all that information in there and I knew how much work it was gonna take to move it out and put it in somewhere else. So now, if I ever wanna switch from Hostaway, which I'm strongly considering a different management software, I don't feel trapped because I have it
Hmm.
in Notion, and so I think that's very helpful.
Great. How have you or how has the team used all of these listing master pages now that you have the information in here? Like what gives you the best value out of these being here?
Um, Probably maintenance, honestly, like
Okay.
maintenance and laundry. I know it sounds crazy, but that has given us the most value.
Walk me through that. Walk me through maintenance.
Yes.
How's the team use this for maintenance?
Let me just click on our maintenance area. Um, So we have, anytime we have a maintenance need, we put it in here and we will add we just click new and add a ticket. So if we have something going on that we need maintenance for, we have it right here and it's connected to the property. And so what I struggled with in being able to remove myself is I don't know if I have an owner who calls me, how do I know what maintenance is going on at their house? And so now I am able to click to go into the listing master pages and I am able to click on a particular property. I think I saw something going on with Laid Back Lodge. So I'm
Yep.
able to click on a property, scroll down while I'm talking to the owner and let him know any maintenance needs that are going on with this property, like right here. So I know when we have maintenance needs, or I know when laundry gets pulled. I have an owner who um, constantly asks me, where's my comforter? Or I just came, she's local and she's like, where are my bath mats? Then I can go in here and tell her 3 bath mats are actually in laundry right now. So it's very helpful.
And I see you have photos as well for that. Who
Yes.
is logging these laundry item
Our
tickets?
either our VA or our operations manager. So, our operations manager is who, um, he kind of manages all things maintenance, all things laundry, all things with vendors, and so he logs everything into these sections, but, if he's off, our VA's doing it, or it's so, so helpful.
I've never even heard of someone tracking their laundry items through Notion, but I think that's the beauty of this is it gives you a full template that you can work with, but then you see how it all works. You get to this intermediate level of using Notion by watching the videos and just getting hands-on in Notion. And
Yes.
then you realize, oh, I can track and create customized trackers for whatever I need. So you've
Yeah,
added
it's just
laundered items. I recently added tracking future credit stays for my own so that we can if we tell someone, "Hey, sorry you had this issue, come back in the next year and we'll give you $500 off your stay." We now log that as a future credit and we can
that's a
track
great
if they ever
idea.
reach back out to us. So you can start customizing it the way you have for laundered items.
I just had that happen last week, so I may copy you on that. That's a great idea. 'Cause right now I just keep it right here in my noggin. That's not a good approach. But yeah, laundry items. And I think that comes with, we do have a local cleaning company, and it's, most of our properties are in the Smokies. So it is very helpful to track our laundered items.
Good. Have you been using the onboarding process to
Yes.
help coordinate between you and Dylan and your
Y-
operations manager?
Yes.
And can you
So
show
we
me how that works for you all?
Yes, so I left out one other person on my team. She actually works in our finance department, but on the side she does all of our onboarding. So she will physically go to the houses, and we will have created a property, and then she has a tablet, and she goes in and walks the property and does all onboarding, adds photos, ads, every little detail about the property.
And she'll add that straight into Notion.
She does it straight into Notion. Yes.
Okay, sweet.
She's
Are
able to
you
do
use
photos. We haven't crossed the barrier of being able to do videos. Do you know if that's a possibility?
You can upload videos into Notion. I mean, she would just take them on her phone and then you can just upload a video into Notion, or you could add it to YouTube first, or you could add it to a Google Drive and then link the Google Drive to
Oh,
Notion. It
okay.
kind of works. You can do any of those methods. They all work.
Okay.
So that's something, yeah, you could probably just tell her, hey, we want to start adding property videos in here as well. And it
Okay.
works. So
Yes.
you can just figure it
So
out and then
far,
she'll be able to do that.
yes. So far we've just done pictures and every detail about the property that we can gather on her first visit. It's been great.
So are your VAs using this information for their messaging, or are you mentioned you use HostBuddy AI to do AI messaging? Is that on 24/7 for you? And is it
Yes.
referencing these pages as the
Yes.
knowledge base? Okay, tell me
Yes.
about that. How's that
Um,
working out?
yeah, so they have the beauty of just going right over here and clicking and asking anything, So, um, what do I do with the garbage at Summit Chalet? And they can copy what the response is given and then put it right over into messaging. So it's really simple.
Sweet.
Yep.
Great. I'm glad it's working for them.
Yep.
And you said HostBuddy is also connected to here, integrated into it, and using these. So I know
Yes.
we use that as well for our overnight, and basically it is referencing these pages for FAQs and things like that.
Yes, it's wonderful. We turn on Host Buddy at night, and we usually wake up to some really good responses.
Good.
So it's nice.
And you said you're just getting into recording SOPs into here. Do you have
Yes.
any quick wins or things that you've learned by doing that, or do you have any questions for me about how I do that process?
I think it's wonderful so far. I'm trying to find one that we've done. Oh yeah, so specialty laundry items is one that we did. If I can get it to open here. Yeah, so like I said, specialty laundry is a big deal for us. So we went in, and actually I created a team task for this. I created a task, and I'll take you there first. I created a team task for um, Eric to do, and it might be under completed tasks. No. Uh,
If you go down to completed tasks that's completed in the last 30 days, it might be in
oh,
that
that
one.
might be. Let me go to all. There we go. So it was specialty. No. Yeah, it was specialty. So, I just asked Eric, I did a task for him and asked him to set up an SOP for laundry, and which was great. So he got the task. It was the very first time I'd ever done this. He was like, "What's this task all about?" So he goes in, and he just used many of the templates that you had offered, and we ran with it. It was great. It was easy. It was super simple, and we tagged other people in our team who didn't even have Notion. We were able to tag them and get them a quick guest login, which I highly recommend because it's free to do the guest access. And the people on the cleaning side were able to see this SOP and agree that,
Oh, sweet. Good. Uh, I've got a I've got another advice for you as
Yeah.
you're getting into SOPs now, which is you can use Notion AI to create the SOPs. So here's how, Kelly, you should consider doing it is think about some tasks that you do repetitively personally. Like maybe you have been reviewing owner statements or you have been processing the cleaner's payments personally for like, we'll use that as an example. Maybe you've been processing the cleaner's payments, but you have an ops manager or a VA on your team who probably could do that. So what I would do in that situation is I would just record a video of myself going through that process the next time that I do it. And so it's maybe a 15-minute process to do this. And I'm just talking out loud the whole time. I go into this website, I go into this bank, I go and I check in, host away your PMS to compare the dates that they're matching up. And then one of the things we do at ours is we give one of our cleaners a $25 bonus anytime a review from the previous period mentions how clean it was. So we'll go and we'll check all the reviews and see, okay, one of the reviews had $25 bonus. So I'm just explaining all this and then I process the payment and then I email her back and say, hey, by the way, this guest left this review. I take a screenshot of it and I put the screenshot in the email. I say, thank you so much. It means a lot when our guest mentioned the cleanliness. So that's their like a 15 or 20-minute process, which I don't want to do every month. And so I just record that video once and then I paste that video into the video section. If you scroll down here, there's a section to put a video in here. So I put that in the video section and then I grab the transcript of that video. Most video recorders will automatically create transcripts these days. So Loom is a very popular one. I
Mhm.
use Zoom Clips because I already have a Zoom subscription. So you grab that transcript and then you basically just highlight all of the text of the SOP template and then you click there's a button which is like edit with AI and I just say, "Hey AI, I'm going to give you the transcript. Can you write the SOP?" And then it will use that framework of the SOP plus the transcript and it will write the SOP in like 2 minutes. And
That's
because you've spoken out loud and given it all these little nitty-gritty details, it's usually like 95% accurate. Plus, your team member has the video they can reference the first time they do it. And so then I'll go to my VA and say, hey, I now want you to be in charge of processing these cleaner payments. So every time you see the email come in with our invoice, will you go and process the payment? Here's the SOP for it. Here's a video of me doing it. Next time this happens, try doing it yourself. And before you click submit, just check in with me and make sure that you did it right. And then once they've done it successfully once, you can just know like that's taken care of by someone else now. And they have an SOP they can reference. So I think you're to the point where you can start implementing that and start just erasing tasks off of your list and assigning them to others. And then, like, a next level above that would be creating those as recurring tasks here in Notion. So you can go to team tasks, you can click on new task, and you can assign it to whatever VA, VA Emily or whatever, and click that to be every month on the 5th. Check for an invoice from cleaner Tammy and process it using this SOP. And then every single month on the 5th, that's going to pop onto that VA's calendar or onto their tasks view here as something that they need to work on.
that is
So
great.
that's a way you can start getting the SOPs and the tasks all working together for your team, which I think
That
is where your
Project
kind of
Loom's a great
your
idea.
next level of using Notion is probably right there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that plan, and I think our ops manager would love to use videos, like you just said. He would love to do a Loom video to create an SOP. That's that's something he would definitely, uh, take advantage of that.
And also your on-site people who are doing physical work, like setting up a Schlag lock, like that's a little complicated to do for the first time. So I actually bought on Amazon this like $15 tripod that's like it collapses down really small, but then it expands out. And I literally recorded videos of myself installing locks or doorbells or making a bed the correct way, like the proper way and done that same process where I'm talking out loud in that video, but now it's not a screen recording, but it's a physical like camcorder video of me doing the process. And then everything else from there with the SOP creation is the exact same. You still have this example video, but then you also have the written SOP people can reference.
Love that. That's a really good idea. So, based on my Notion, what do you recommend other than, of course, SOPs, but what do you recommend, be our next big Notion addition?
Mm. Can we click into your one of your listing master pages again?
Yes.
Go ahead and select one that you feel is like pretty good, but
Okay.
maybe like needs a little work. And then let's just scroll through that real quick. I was noticing that in that one example, there was a lot of empty fields.
Yeah, there are a lot of empty fields still.
And so I might just pause and like ask you about some of these. So this is the Nova. Let's pause there.
Mhm.
So you've also just added a lot of additional fields here. I'm
Yeah,
noticing like
and
living room, you have living room, dining area, seating, dinnerware, and silverware. So you're actually tracking like specific amenities in these.
yes, so we just added all of these because, our person who does onboarding, she also does inventory, so, these are brand new to us, so I knew they would be empty, and
Mhm.
I own this property, so I went in personally and added I know there are 8 plates, I know there are 8 bowls, but, yes, so this is going to be, great for us because every quarter, someone is gonna go back in and double check the inventory and just make
Mm.
sure stay on top of our inventory.
Okay, cool. So I mean that's why there's a lot of empty ones right now is
Oh, yeah,
it's
yep,
something that you'll kind of expand upon as well as a checklist for specific items. So
yes,
that's really cool to see. I was going to suggest if you do have a lot of empty fields, which are probably not these more inventory style fields, but more details about the property, such as, does this property have air conditioning and how does that work? Does it have heating? How do the
mhm,
neighbors feel about this property? Because a lot of that information is still probably in your head.
yes,
I would challenge one of your VAs to schedule a recurring call with you. So maybe 30 minutes or an hour every week, and then task them to pull up a listing master page and to go through and to just start asking you questions to start filling in those blanks.
that is such a
So
good
it's
idea.
really hard for you to set aside the time and do that. But if someone else is just asking you the questions, and like I would even go as far as saying they don't even have to type in the responses because they can take the transcript afterwards and click on that little Notion AI button in the bottom right hand corner and expand it and say, "Hey, I just interviewed Kelly about this. Here's the answers to a lot of these empty fields. Can you fill in the blanks?" It can do that for you. So that almost forces completion of some of these fields which maybe aren't filled out. But
Yeah, that's something that would benefit us. So one of our next big things is pest control and lawn care, and that's something that has been in my head. So I actually do have a call with our operations manager to go in and do that. Like who does pest control for Wanda's Peak versus Tennessee whiskey, those sorts of things. So yeah,
and I like to take advantage of when I'm on a long drive, like I'm driving out to my properties, which are over 3 hours away. I'll often try to like make that call happen while I'm driving and bored anyways.
yeah,
Because I just in my head for it. I just need to be getting stuff out of my head and into Notion, so I can just sit there and rattle off random facts about this property or that property that the team wouldn't know because it's still in my head. It looks like you're using your contacts and vendors well. Tell
yes.
me how that process went, how you went about filling that out, and how has your team been using this?
Yeah, so it was one and done really. It was me, this is one of the first things I did. I think that was one of the first tasks in your call, in your onboarding call, like get your contacts in there. I can't remember. I think it was though, but I literally just went through my phone, put every contact and vendor in my phone or out of my phone into here and attached them to the properties. It's great. And then, now my ops manager is able to call our hot tub tech versus him saying, "What's the phone number for the hot tub tech?" or "Kelly, can you call the hot tub tech?" So it's been so, so helpful.
Yeah, so you've reduced those Slack or text messages to you asking random questions like, who do we contact about this? What's
Yes.
this person's phone number? Um, a next level of this, I don't personally do this, but I know some people will even take notes of their interactions with these people. So say, uh, Jericho, Josh, your pest control people, like if you even, like, open that up and start recording and talking about, like, they typically charge us this amount, and we have a regular scheduled, for them to come out on a quarterly basis and to do this, you can even drop those type of notes in to specific contacts, which can be helpful for the team or for your own reference in the future, just so that you don't have to go back and try to find old emails and things like that. It's just documented here in your second
That
brain.
is really good, and we do that in our maintenance, tasks, so you can see, um, we have, like, description, and then we'll always have, like, issue resolution, so we really try to add, I mean, you can see it down here on our completed tasks. We really try to add our, just the details that we have in that section because it's very helpful for the next person. We have we have not, even scratched the surface on this because we were doing all of this in Slack, and so we've just very recently moved over to, using Notion for this, and it's been great.
What do you think the biggest difference is between having it here versus in Slack?
Slack is not easy, well, it doesn't connect to a property, so that's really why we switched because I really need to be on the phone with an owner and knowing exactly what we've done in their property for a given month.
Mm,
And so me not knowing is me not as involved as I probably could or should be. So having this just keeps me involved and keeps me minimally involved because I literally only have to pull up Notion to see what's happened. So in Slack, there was a lot of searching for a particular property. It's like, okay, Whispering Pines, what happened in Whispering Pines? So um, it's just too. It's really hard to search in Slack. I think.
gotcha. I don't know if you've done this yet too, but you can connect Notion AI to your Slack. And when you use the AI feature, it will also search your Slack thread as well and surface stuff from your Slack alongside stuff from your Notion. It's like it's a positive and a negative because one, it does pull that Slack stuff in. But sometimes that just creates a little more noise where you'd rather just give you a really clean, like, here's what's documented in Notion as your source of truth rather than pulling in that Slack noise.
Right. We did
Sometimes I'm
pull
like,
in
"Oh,
Host
cool, that's
Buddy.
great."
Yeah, we haven't done it. I did see that you could do it. We haven't done it yet, but we did pull in Host Buddy and we decided not to pull in Slack. So I'm glad you mentioned that it adds more noise. I don't think I want the noise. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you pulled it in?
I've pulled it in and I've turned it off, and I've pulled it in and I've turned it off. I think I like having when I do the AI search here in Notion, I want it to just be looking in Notion first and giving me the answers, what it has documented from me. And then if it doesn't have the answer, I want it to go more to like an internet search. So a lot of times they'll even ask like, "Hey, I can't find that in here. Do you want me to search the web?" And I'll say yes. And then we'll search the web for like how to do a process or how
Okay.
to resolve or troubleshoot an issue a guest might be having. And yeah, I like that more than bringing in the Slack noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a specific moment or story you can think of where you're like, "Okay, this is actually working."
Immediately. I mean, I'm not even lying. Like it was just it was I just think it was at the right possible time because like I said, we were just in so many different we just couldn't figure it out. It's like you hear about y'all, let's put it all in Slack, let's put it all in Monday, we have a Google sheet. We have so it's like just we could not figure out what would work. And so like seeing this demo, it was the answer that I needed. It sounds so cheesy, but it really was. And the master pages, I reference them all the time. Our VA, our VAs live in Notion, and it's just they all know that it is our source of truth, um, and it will be. It will remain regardless of what other softwares we change out, and we're always evolving and getting better as a company. So I just feel like this will always be our source of truth regardless of what software we have.
Yeah, it kinda becomes the central hub of
Yep.
your operations, and
Yes.
then PMSs is like one arm that comes out of it, and AI, like Hostbody AI is one arm that comes out of it, and everything else. So very cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you covered it beautifully. So I don't have any more questions, but I'm glad you're using it and getting so much value out of it. And I hope, yeah, reach out to me if you have any, if you get stuck ever. I'm happy to help out.
Yeah, maybe in like 6 months, you can check in with me and hold me
Sure.
accountable to make it, to actually get my SOPs in here and, just continuing to better what we have. I know it looks great. The photos are really pretty on there and it looks very good, but I absolutely agree to, I need to have that scheduled time, sit down with my VAs and just go through one property at a time to get it all out of my brain and into here.
Yeah, and one other area that I might suggest you look at real quick is the projects view. So if you click on project view real quick
Does it?
and then click on onboard new rental, did you ever, there's a video which talks about how to use this section, but I think you're really close to the point where you could have this set up to be the way it works for me is I now sign up a new client. I get that verbal commitment from a new client. I come into Notion and I click that button and then I go on the first one there, send co-hosting agreement to the client. So I'll go into that and I'll leave a comment for my VA that says, here's the client, here's their phone number, here's their email, here's the management fee that was agreed upon, here's the tech fee that was agreed upon, yes, or maybe we don't have it. I just give them that detail and say, can you please create the contract for this client and send it to them? And then all the other, this is 52 tasks here. All these other tasks walk you through the onboarding process one by one, walk your team through it. And so what you can do is you can customize this automation so that every one of those has a person is assigned to it and a due date assigned to it. We've even started creating SOPs for some of these more complicated processes. And now I click a button and my whole onboarding process is complete, like is laid out and completed for my team to onboard a new property. And so we actually have probably like 81 or so tasks in there, like steps. By default, the template has 52, which is what you see here, but you'll start adding and customizing it to fit your business more. So I would recommend trying that out for one of your next onboardings.
Yes, I love that you say that because, um, I did take my first step and write out, I actually just emailed myself, but I wrote out an email of every single step, and, that is exactly where my brain is. So, we have an onboarding person in our on our cleaning side, and I think that we are going to utilize her to do onboarding for both. So, because many of our clients use our cleaning, so she will take on probably the first 10 tasks in this section. So, uh, you are absolutely right. I want to take advantage of this for sure. And I added her into Notion just to kind of see how it all works. But I think she's going to be my person who is mostly doing all these onboarding tasks so that I'm not sending the contract out and, getting the onboarding fee and all those little things that somebody else could be doing.
Well, a good next step then would be having her watch the training portion about how to use this part here. There's like a 20-minute video of how to use and how to customize this. That just comes with the template in the recordings section. So have her watch those and then meet with her and see like, hey, is this something that you want to do to streamline the onboarding process? My guess is she'll be really excited about it. And then she can take over ownership of customizing and building this out in Notion so that you don't have to. All right, Kelly, thank you so
Fantastic.
much. This was fun.
Yeah, it was great. Okay, well, we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Have a
Bye.
good one. Bye.